You're walking on a quiet street. The morning is calm, the pavement is damp, and then a second dog rounds the corner. In a fraction of a second, your sweet companion detonates, lunging, barking, sounding like he wants to tear the world in half. Your face goes hot. A nearby jogger crosses to the far side of the road, and the thought lands hard, carrying a heavy weight of shame. My dog is aggressive. Aggression is a specific, calculated behavior. An aggressive animal has a clear goal. They want to create distance by inflicting harm, and they will deliberately use their teeth to force that space. Reactivity operates differently. A reactive dog responds to ordinary, everyday things: a skateboard, a man in a hat, a passing dog, with a wildly out-of-proportion burst of involuntary emotion. To a calm dog, these sights are background noise. To a reactive dog, they are a 5-alarm fire. The snarling animal at the end of the leash rarely wants to start a fight. They are experiencing absolute terror, trapped inside a loud and frightening costume, entirely misunderstood by the human trying to hold them back. To understand the explosion on the sidewalk, we have to rewind the timeline to hours before the walk even started. Look at this diagram. We can visualize a dog's baseline anxiety as this bucket. As the day goes on, it collects distinct, stressful events. A loud garbage truck in the morning, the mail carrier, a child hugging a bit too tight. Every event adds a drop to the container. These events trigger real biological changes. Stress hormones like cortisol flood the bloodstream and linger in the body for hours after a minor scare has passed. By mid-afternoon, this compounding chemistry leaves the dog's nervous system vibrating at maximum capacity. The liquid is practically spilling over before you ever reach for the leash. The ordinary trigger on the street didn't actually cause the meltdown. It was merely the final, tiny drop that forced an entire day of invisible, unaddressed stress to overflow. Any frightened animal facing a terrifying threat relies on a core biological instinct: fight or flight. Given the choice, most dogs happily choose fright, moving away to calm themselves down. But the standard 6-foot leash artificially eliminates that flight option. The very tool we trust to protect them physically traps them in place. With escape impossible, the dog is forced to reach for their only remaining survival tool. They have to appear as loud and dangerous as possible to scare the threat away. Inside the body, a physical storm takes over. Adrenaline spikes, serotonin drops. Researchers studying aggressive reactivity have even measured a sharp, distinct rise in the dog's facial temperature. As this flood peaks, the cognitive, thinking part of the dog's brain completely shuts down. They lose access to the part of their mind that knows their name, knows the cue to sit, and knows you have treats in your pocket. This is why yanking the leash or punishing a reactive dog during an outburst achieves absolutely nothing. You're trying to reason with an animal whose brain has gone completely offline, plunging into a state of pure survival. Healing begins with a concept trainers call management. You actively arrange the dog's life, crossing the street, walking at quiet hours, to avoid triggers. This stops them from rehearsing the panic and gives their nervous system a chance to rest. Long before a dog loses control, they broadcast their rising panic. They speak in subtle physical whispers. You can spot the quiet early warnings if you know where to look: a sudden physical freeze, a quick lick of the lips, or whale eye, where the eye rapidly darts and widens to reveal the white sclera at the edges. Learning to translate these physical whispers gives you a critical window. You gain the time to turn around and create distance before the biological flood happens. Once you have that distance, you can use a behavioral science method called counter-conditioning to rewrite the dog's internal narrative about the world. This graph shows the exact mechanics. You keep the dog securely in the green safe zone, below their panic threshold. While they observe the distant trigger, you consistently pair it with high-value rewards. This repeated, safe exposure physically updates the dog's predictions. The brain stops associating the trigger with fear and slowly replaces it with positive anticipation. By trading punishment for distance, patience, and reinforcement, you stop being an adversary on the end of the leash. You become a trusted partner, proving to your dog that the world is finally safe.